So now there is a like I've seen it says like Google Campus. Honestly, I do not allow Google to teach anything about my intellectual property of exploring. That's not Google's thinking in 92. It's not the analysis, it's not the exploring, not the external system, not international network, not the education, not the banking, not the trading, it's not the e-commerce, it's not the search engine, front page, second page, it's not the like paper, like if you pay a little bit more money it gives you better place. It's not the way of advertising, pictures connected to stores. All that search engine is my search engine. It's not Google's intellectual property. It's not Google's international network, not ends, because I had different ends for countries. It's not Google's .org. It's not my exploring is not Google's. So I do not allow Google to teach anything about my intellectual property, acting look like it's their intellectual property. They never acquired that intellectual property. They're in illegal use. All those two Jewish boys are fooling the whole planet. It's not their brain. They don't have initial talent. They don't have ID. They don't have my attorney, nothing. All they did, they were implementing my intellectual property because my ex-wife was repeating, and then they put up papers. Number one, stop. They should not make any papers. Talent should make papers. So she or her with her people made up papers. If there are my signatures, that would be a lot of forgery. And if money should go to them, that would be unjust enrichment and twisting. So basically what they have is illegal use, intellectual property violations, twisting, forgery, and fraud used, and I do not allow them to talk about my intellectual property and to teach people acting look like it's all okay. It's not all okay. It's all completely wrong. They're basically felons. Felons are trying to tell lies, acting look like somebody allowed them. Nobody did allow them. And any politician is telling them to do that, it's okay to do that, that's a false statement. That's not my statement. That is a statement of illegal users. Because just because ex-wife repeated, it does not mean they can use it. And if she said, okay, that's a false statement, fraudulent statement. And if, like I said, if my signatures, that is illegal, fraudulent, or forgery. Because if at the time of, like say, we got divorced in 93, she went to overseas, and they started to make papers, this and that. But I went to Arizona, and then after a certain time I was in Bay Area, and then Santa Barbara. So approximately at the beginning of Santa Barbara, when I moved in, Paseo del Descanso Street, I was living with one Jewish guy with, I think, 5 parrots. But because it was a house, but I was living on one side of the house and he was at additional kind of part of house, because that was like, I think, double lot. So on that double lot they built like here and there. So anyway, he lived there, I live here, and that lady was, I guess, from Ukraine, immigrated a long time ago. So anyway, and then I was living there for some time, and that was beginning of Google. And any papers they had, I'm overseas allowed, that's fraudulent, illegal papers you will never find like ID or attorney, and you will never find any records I am there. It was made up. So she was repeating my intellectual property with illegal signatures and illegal here and there, and later she wanna get money. So that's called illegal use with fraud, twisting, and forgery. That's what Google is using, my intellectual property with a bunch of illegal stuff. So even if they made up look like it's okay to use, okay to trade, I do not allow them to trade or use unless they have authority, me, all normal agreements, compensation. I expect 30% from personal net worth of Brin, Page, and Schmidt, from all CEOs. Because normally it's 27% because of long time, additional losses because of extended time. I expect 30% before any loops. So if somebody got divorced and give half, that's your problem. I expect 30% before any marriages and loops, because you had to pay. So if you divorced and give you half, I don't know, maybe you got divorced just to hide the money, because some people got divorced just to hide the money, give half and thinking get away. No, I need this, I need 30%. And I do not allow anyone to use, including Bill Gates, Ballmer, anyone else, including AOL too. Whatever AOL had in 91, that's their stuff. When they implemented mine, they implemented with illegal papers, fraud, forgery, twisting, unjust enrichment. I need my money too. I don't really care what your nationality is. I never did allow. Don't try to teach. Do not try to go to university and tell your lies and false statements you can teach. I never did allow. You don't have lawyer, attorney. All you have is illegal papers of ex-wife. Again, you cannot use illegal papers of ex-wife. She did not acquire rights. She is not a talent. She was divorced, not married. She had a lot of fraud, forgery, and twisting just to get the money from my intellectual property, probably her and her people. And then they are trying to create university or campus for Google. I do not allow anything. I'm telling you right now. I don't care if German or what your nationality is. I do not allow you to use my intellectual property without compensation, normal agreements, attorney, and everything legal. Otherwise, I will do everything to sue you, try to get money through courts, through criminal courts, through different courts. It was not for you to use. It was not your order, so don't try to glue yourself or listen Olga's lies because she want to get money. She is not a talent. It's not her, so she can get out. And I talked to attorney at the time of divorce. I talked to attorney. He said we're only dividing material wealth. So if I did not have any house or any certain money, they cannot divide. She cannot divide my intellectual property. She cannot copyright my intellectual property. She cannot represent. She cannot trade. So she is not supposed to play any game trying to suck money out of my intellectual property, because she did not come even to one package. She did not come to Google's network, nothing. So any German communist or any communist or anyone trying to glue themselves to that intellectual property, that's not her intellectual property. It's illegal use with fraud, forgery, and twisting. So there is only one way you can teach. You can teach that at Stanford criminal law class, how it was done and how that is illegal and criminalistic. That's the only way you can teach. Is a case scenario about fraudulent activities of Google. Otherwise, don't try to teach and make new cover-ups and make new impressions look like it is for them, it is this, it is that. It's not for you. They need to pay compensation right from beginning, right from the first check, second check, any compensation they get because of my exploring, they should pay compensation. They should not use illegal papers. I allow. I never did allow. And any compensation plan Olga decided to make for me, that's a legal compensation plan. because for my intellectual property, only me can decide what kind of compensation plan should be. She cannot decide anything for me. So you need to stop looking at her fraudulent papers, and you need to stop dreaming about some kind of campus. You have nothing to teach about. All you can teach is illegal use, and then adding some kind of your stuff to illegal use, intellectual property violation. So it's like somebody is going to Mercedes and seeing your project, suppose lady, and put up some kind of paper look like Mercedes is allowed and Mercedes this and that, and they implement it and adding few things. All that big part, what they're adding to is illegal. You cannot add anything to legal. Certificates, that's not for you even to use. Don't try to create any certificate for illegal use. You're intellectual property criminals. So if you go to Innovation Center, can you talk for that, yes or no? No. So if you cannot talk for this, how did you copyright? Or somebody allowed? Stop right there, fraud. If signature allowing forgery, you cannot use fraud and forgery and then use and trade. Google actually had to be stopped from trading. They cannot trade it. It's not the intellectual property to trade. To trade, you need to trade your product. All you have is illegal papers, look like somebody is allowing you to use, and then you call it as your product. It's not your product. You cannot talk at Innovation Center, that's not your product. It's very simple. So don't try to fool everybody, including yourself, and try to open some kind of campus. What you gonna teach? How you were programming someone's intellectual property with a bunch of illegal papers, and then later you started to call it yours. It's not yours. It's not your brain. I do not allow those two Jewish guys in Schmidt to use it. It's not for them to use. Because in 92, when I was analyzing everything and I came to that, it was not their order, and later I never even talked to them. It was made up with a bunch of illegal papers of ex-wife, look like they can use because she want money. She's looking at many years of federal prison, I'm telling you. She's looking at years and years and years of federal prison, charges after charges after charges, bank fraud, finance fraud, trading violations, investors fraud, all kind of fraud and forgery. That went to actually with the Google for trading. So what you're gonna teach? Realistically, you cannot teach anything. Realistically, they cannot teach. So if Google is not trying to pay for all this and doesn't like to have attorney, I suggest better stop any of your universities or campuses, because I'm going to keep submitting to different courts, criminal courts, international criminal courts, any kind of courts, because I need all my money. It's not your intellectual property to use. You need to mind your Jewish business. Whatever your garage was, or whatever your house was, or anything you came to, you need to mind your business. You're not supposed to use someone's intellectual property because some politician said, okay. They don't have that position, okay, because it was not the federal order. I was not a contractor for them. They cannot use mine. And they never purchase anything later. So if particular people installing a C for federal government building, that would be order and contract. I did not have order and contract. You cannot use my money and you cannot use my AC or whatever for your advantage, writing your bogus papers. That's illegal. That's damages and it's illegal use. So you cannot teach anything about that kind of business. So I suggest you stop finding new tricky ways. All you need to do is to pay, or you need to liquidate to legal management, but your management would be considered as illegal. That's how it should be. That's what I can tell to European Union or European courts, European International Court. That's how you should think. You should not allow illegal papers use and then fraud, forgery, and then trading and creating some kind of campuses for what? You never came to that. What you gonna teach? How you program someone's intellectual property? There are many programmers in the line. They can program. But you're not supposed to use and repeat and tell them that you should program because it's not yours to tell to program. I'm not joking, I'm serious. So you can decide. Now, when I talk about exploring and Americans, I can tell many times it's not for Americans. It's true, it was not for Americans. It was for me. So, I've seen AOL project, whatever they had, small one, and I decided to come to my own system and explore it. And international exploring. So it was not for Americans. I can see many times from I just see from the face or just from the top. Many think it's some kind of American exploring. At some point, they think like American tech. It is not American tech, it is not American exploring. It is my exploring that was implemented with illegal papers. But like suppose I am not a citizen and I don't like to be American citizen because of certain reasons. I like to be citizen of other country. Even if I have permanent American residence, I don't like to be intentionally citizen. I can be, but I don't want to. So if you ask citizen with passport who came to that, they don't have anyone. It's not Brin and Page brain. It's not Balmer's brain. It's not Bill Gates' brain. It's not Larry Ellison's brain. It's not their brain. They never came to that. It was not for them to use. It was for me to use. But because my ex-wife went overseas talking to different politicians or communists or whatever party, they came and they started to talk and they started to implement, making an impression look like they can do, and American have an impression they can implement, use and trade. They cannot, I'm telling you. They cannot. Because it's only me who can allow. Not ex-wives, not politicians, not American politicians, nobody. Because it's not the intellectual property. If you take right now to any, like suppose you have, you know, like the Taylor Swift, any musician go around the world. Suppose you offer particular talent to go around the world and tell how did you come to this from scratch. Because in 91 it didn't exist, but then started to go slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly. They were implementing not the wire. Trust me, they did not implement the wire. So they were implementing search engine, which is externally, which is already farmed, not the wire. And they had providers, hub or whatever, which is not the wire. And you don't need to sell software or to send software or offer download software if it's the wire. You don't download for the wire anything. Because normally it would be a wire between two users or cable, whatever. Now in my case I don't have it. So they were implementing with illegal papers. And with illegal use, now if they need a talent to go around the world and talk about that new innovation, it is innovation. It's not web and internet, that's false statement. So who can talk for that innovation? Because before 91, 92, nobody was exploring around the world. Trust me, there is no American with American citizenship and passport can talk about it. because I never came to that. They're in illegal use. Okay, Bill Gates, how did you come? To external system explorer and all the software. It's not your. Before programming, you need to decide it's not your decisions. And network configuration, international network configuration, that email chat, it's not yours. Somebody made a false statement they can use, do the same, play around the same, but that is a false statement. And they were using illegal papers for that false statement. Probably Olga wrote all kind of stupid stuff again, but it's not the talent, it's not me, it's her. So they could not use, but they did use. So it's a dirty business. So those like Bill Gates, Ballmer, Brin, Page, even AOL now after 92, Yahoo, they cannot go around the world as a talent and have a big audience and talk about beginning, because they are not the beginning people. They were using illegal papers and illegal statements and forgery for that particular beginning, including Alibaba, including Amazon and eBay, because all that is my e-commerce. My e-commerce is either individual stores or under one roof. For new items would be like Amazon, for bulk new items would be Alibaba, and for used items is eBay. And I redesigned here and there, they were using illegally. It's not for them to use, be it my package or be it my international network, or what they call also farms with international network. So they cannot talk about that, but somebody approved that illegal use, and they go even inside of Washington DC talking about this, look like all legal. No. First they allow lousy approvals without ID, without attorney, without any good records, documents. They approve fraud, forgery, illegal use, and money to go somewhere else, where the talent most likely never lived. Because after 92 I did not go overseas, only to Hawaii, which is completely different direction. So they keep walking around talking about myth, an existed guy overseas allowing, and then another myth, money should go there, but realistically money don't go there, they go somewhere else. Basically it's twisting with fraud, forgery, illegal use. So what you can do is you can go around, any American company or person can go around, and basically what they need to face is they're using illegal papers, twisted fraud, forgery, illegal use, illegal copyrights. Because they did not start from scratch. They had all those people, Olga's people, telling, and they were implementing like stupid. Normally they would need to see a person and an attorney. And if somebody told them I am overseas, that's a false statement, because I was not overseas. My records would be Minnesota 93, time of divorce, Minnesota 94, then later Arizona 94. I was traveling here and there with another lady, so it would be here and there. I was in Florida, Georgia with her. Well, first, like I said, Arizona. Then we went to Florida, Georgia. Then basically we stopped and like say, my first time was in Bay Area, like say, maybe 96. And then I went back. Because of immigration, I went back to Minnesota, and I got my green card like 97. I went back to Santa Barbara. So I was in Bay Area, but because of immigration, they told me to bring ex-wife, second one, not the Olga, I don't know. So I couldn't bring her, I had to go back there, and basically I had to talk, blah blah blah. But anyway, in 97 beginning I got the green card, because first green card they give for 2 years. So before that I had 2-year one. Like in 94 I got the 2-year one, I believe 94. I got 2-year one, and then later, beginning of 97, I got another one, which is not 2 years, which is permanent. And now, there is another guy, Jewish guy, I think Jewish, a lawyer. I had Jewish lawyer when I was in Bay Area, in approximately 96. So I had a lawyer because I was married on second lady, but we got divorced before 2 years. I was trying to get a green card because people told me you need to prove, and he started to show me some kind of completely different case, which is not marriage because of related to second lady. I said, you know, he doesn't listen to me good. I'm paying money, he's not listening to me good. He started to go to some no marriage stuff. I talk about marriage because I was married second time, but for green card you need to live 2 years, but I got divorced before 2 years, but I had to prove certain things. So I was talking about the proving because of second wife, and he sent me some kind of completely other stuff that was cancelled already before. So anyway, I got the green card in 97. So when I go to what they call it, Santa Barbara. I go to Santa Barbara with a green card. I'm not a citizen. So if any American will say they have citizen for that exploring, they don't have citizen. And I intentionally don't want to be a citizen because of certain reasons. I intentionally like to be a citizen of different country. It's none of your business. So many Americans actually give up citizenships. If you look at Caribbean islands, if you look at Malta, if you look at Portugal, any other countries, many Americans want to give up their passport to citizenship and live there. They don't want that headache of dual citizenship. You'll be surprised, quite many Americans like to live in Europe. They don't believe American, some kind of what they call white policy or whatever. They don't like certain stuff because it's not like it was a long time ago, and they like to choose Europe to live. And me, actually, I'm okay with Europe. In fact, in Spain, the living is twice cheaper than California, or maybe 3 times cheaper than California. And the quality of life is not worse, believe me. The roads, like right now I'm driving, the roads are not worse, and I don't care about big traffic, really. Like right now I'm driving huge traffic, I don't need it. So, realistically, if you want to see traffic, look at traffic. So, maybe because I'm getting older, or because of some other reasons, or maybe I live too long, this is like too much traffic to me. I don't need to live in the traffic. It's first of all wasting of money for gas, wasting of time, pollution, and there is no benefit. I don't make more money. Realistically, I don't make more money. That traffic would justify somehow. There is a reason for me to go with the traffic. Like suppose I lived in Bay Area, and I live like first I was like in San Mateo area, San Pablo. Sorry, San Lorenzo is south. San Pablo. When you go, so I was in San Pablo area, a little further, Hercules. So when I go, like suppose from San Francisco in that big church, a lot of cars like that. That's what I have now. Now, if I have like high-paying job, that would justify for me. Okay, it's okay with traffic, but I'm getting big bucks. But honestly, I'm not getting big bucks, so I don't need the traffic really. So I can live in Spain, France, you know, the French Riviera, or maybe some Italian island, Greece, without traffic, without anything. Especially when I came to that exploring, and I'm having money because of my international exploring, and because I came to a system and international email and international chat. American citizens did not come to that. I came to that. So for me, it doesn't matter. I don't see, honestly, I don't see American citizenship is better than Portuguese or Spanish citizenship. Honestly, I just don't see. After all that experience and dealing with all corruption, illegal approvals, nobody cares. I do not believe the quality of life and law system and legal system is better than European. Americans are more corrupt, approving all kind of people to use. Nothing is verified. For big market, they don't have lawyer or attorney and license. They only have shitty papers made up somewhere else that they approve it for big market. And then they fool Europe. No, Europe should really give them a bunch of requirements. ID, attorney, locations, current phone number, current contact, everything verifiable, can talk for his innovation, can have physical presence, can talk to federal people, because at some point my system is dealing with federal, at some point it's not dealing with federal, because I came to the .gov for my system. Before they did not have .gov that works with a system you plug in at home, because before it was not system to plug in at home. I came to the system and explored it, then I added .gov, but at some point .gov became federal. So like if bring page Bill Gates or Balmer, what can you say about federal and not federal? All the have somebody did allow. Oh yeah, where? In Europe. Not in Europe. I was here. What you have is illegal papers made in Europe or Eastern Europe or Russia, fake signatures, fraud, forgery, lies, no attorney, no ID. That's what you use. So they cannot talk even to federal. Now they have this cloud. It's not for you to use cloud. Cloud is a storage for my external system and my e-commerce. It's not for you to use, multiply, and put your name. It's not for anyone to use and multiply. If there is permission like that, that is counterfeit, fraudulent permission. If signature, that is forgery. You cannot use my Explorer, Drive, or Cloud. So don't try to multiply, make you look like it's okay to use. I do not allow, never did allow. I will never allow. Let's put it this way. Unless you have agreement, authority, compensation, and everything. Otherwise, get the hell out of me. It's like somebody go to Mercedes, see something, and making paper. Mercedes allow. Everything's okay to copy. Everything's okay to copy. Mercedes allow. Mercedes allow. Everything's okay to copy. Playing a little bit here and there and keep doing. That's what their business is. The retarded, stupid business. That's illegal business. Or Rolls-Royce. Go to Rolls-Royce. Keep copying everything and Putin, he's allowed. Oh yeah. Show me that the ID, attorney, legal things and locations and records. They cannot. All they have is a bunch of illegal papers. All they can show is illegal papers. Be it made by ex-wife, or her party, or a bunch of some kind of crooks there, or maybe Russian mafia. So, there are some people overseas who said, we don't care about Americans or not. If they are fooling, they are fooling. So, or if they are lying, they are lying. It doesn't matter if he is American or not. So, and then at the same time they are saying somebody approved them. Well, let me tell you, you don't need to look at somebody approved them. Somebody is fooling them. What do you mean somebody approved them? Who approved them? America. But America is not international court. Any court you see, or Department of Justice, it's for America. It's not for any country, it's for America. Remember, anytime you see America approve, America approve, that's how they were trying to convince those crooked people with crooked ex-wife, made up some kind of bogus papers. Somebody is allowing, somebody this. I never did allow anything. I was here, and all papers they were making overseas where I never was. And America approved them. Then Americans are stupid. Some kind of stupid fuckers. Who gives a fuck? Approve them. You can wipe your ass with your stupid papers. Who approved them? Did you ask for ID at least? Did you ask for attorney? Did you see him? Somebody is allowing. They allow these fuckers. You can fuck out. Shut down on your shit and fuck out. Completely shut down. In 92 you didn't have. That's what you should have. I allow you this. Fuck out. They keep talking about the fucking dreamers. One group crooked make papers. Look like somebody is allowing, and nothing can be verified. If nothing can be verified, then it should be disapproved. So what you say is it's American, approved in America. It's not international court, it's America. So take all your shit and go to your America. Because every time somebody is allowing, in reality it's all lies. Nobody is allowing. Nobody was allowing. They were lying. All these times they were lying. Including that stupid Olga. With all his stupid people. Basically, based on the American way, if you want to use intellectual property legally, what you need to do is write a bunch of papers he is allowing. And then go and approve. That's America. Fucked up. Approve him. How did you approve him? You need to verify. And so many companies, my packages software and my network special, all approved. Never was verified, all started to trade. Because it's good for some stupid few political assholes. And then creative companies. I do not allow Democrats to create any companies. I never did allow. If Democrats say I did, they lie. It's fraud. I never did allow Democrats to create any companies using my exploring e-commerce and any of my decisions. So all those like Amazon, eBay, Google, Netflix, YouTube, they should not even exist unless I have my attorney ID, agreements, whatever. They made up. All American exploring is made up. Look like they can use. They're criminals. Americans are criminals. International criminals when it comes to e-commerce, when it comes to exploring, social network, YouTube, Netflix. I had many. I came to that exploring. It's not Mark Zuckerberg came to exploring and social network. It's not Brennan Page. It's not Jesse. It's not any other Jew. They never came to this. I never did a lot of anything. They use illegal papers. They're in corruption business. They're in corruption business. They're looking at arrest and federal prison. That's what the real business is. They're looking at federal prison. Nobody did allow anything. They should not tell people to program. They should not trade nothing. They don't have ID, attorney, nothing. All they have made up papers. So they did not verify anything. They used illegally all that stupid writings. And they trade, trying to suck back. Well, it will be stopped, I'm telling you. It will be the end of it. Expect the end. You need to stop fooling Europe and many other countries. Yeah, America is 1/3 of Europe. Approve some kind of shit because it's good for their ass. And then keep ignoring, keep listening. Well, first thing, America should not approve any political party of Olga, whatever Olga had, communists or who they are. America should not approve political party to create any kind of corporations. Politicians have nothing to do with corporations and trading. They should not create, they should not tell to start nothing. And they did, and American approved. Some approved shit somehow. And then they sit and wait for money. America doesn't have international court. They should take all that shit and leave. Honestly, that's it. Because they got my platform like that Amazon card. They got my platform because of politicians. Because my ex-wife talking, doesn't like to work. She keep talking, and then her politicians are talking to those Amazon people. And they implemented mine. Look like it's for them. It was never for them, it was for me, not for them. And it's up to me to decide who is going to use. It could be American, it could be not. And Americans very quickly approve all kind of bullshit. So you don't need to look at that bullshit. You need to ask where's the talent and attorney and ID. Why does it say he's allowing from Europe or Eastern Europe and he's an American and no attorney? And I can tell you every signature, be it Google, Amazon, eBay, Netflix, anything related to exploring, any of my signature is forgery because I never signed anything. Because they signed or she signed. That's forgery. So if American approve forgery, you can tell them, take all your shit and go. You're not international court. And then they have some private communists convincing local politicians will give you kickback. That's corruption. Well, politicians are greedy, want to make money. They don't mind any kind of violations as long as somebody give them money. You see? So at the end, they don't really care what people are getting. And every time they have this politicians talking for Jew. Are you talent for this? Are you original talent? Yes or no? No. So why they talk for you? Well, they told me. Corruption. It's not the intellectual property, illegal papers, corruption. Any politicians is working with Jew, like be it from Google or Amazon or anywhere else, that's corruption. It's not my choice to find Jew I never had an even plane like this. My plane was for me to use, not to give someone. So they go to Jew will get arrested. Who approve you? International court? I think if international court approve, that's corruption too. They should not approve anyone. Bezos. What Bezos have to do with Minnesota, my house? Nothing. So that's it. Stop right there. It's not yours. And those suckers keep listening to communists or any politicians and believe in their bullshit, and they're trying to make all that. Bezos in '94 got registered, or his company was registered. I came to that exploring in '92. She left in '93, and Bezos is trying to make some kind of marketplace out of mine. You don't make anything out of mine. I do not allow AOL to use. I don't allow Yahoo and anyone to use, and you too. But that Amazon '94 is because of corruption. It says started in Seattle. It's not started in Seattle. They started because of Washington D.C. All those politicians talk and she talk and she talk and blah 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 blah. At the end, you are implementing not yours, so you cannot use it. You don't have attorney ID agreements, nothing. Out. Should not copyright. Trust me. All foreign countries should disapprove most of, I would say 90% or 95% of copyrights belonging to the explorer. Because I had a lot of packages and they implemented. It's illegal use. You cannot copyright. It's not your brain to copyright. So be it AOL after '92, be it Yahoo, be it Bing, I do not allow them to use mine. Completely, zero. You can use zero. And if Bezos is doing something in '94, that's not for him to use. He's doing this because of politicians. And that's illegal use. He started illegal use right in '94. In '94, I was in Arizona. I was in Arizona, no, Minnesota, then Arizona. And any shit they have look like I am somewhere there, it's illegal papers. If it says I allow, that's fraudulent statement. If it says money should go there, fraudulent statement. They use fraud, forgery, but they talk about my intellectual property and he's implemented. And he finished Princeton University. That Princeton University, based on what you do, it's a bunch of stupid fuckers. Princeton is like stupid as fuck. He's trying to open corporation based on papers. You don't make based on paper. You need to have talent, idea, attorney agreement. But what he is doing, he's allowing some kind of politicians to manage. This is not your Cuba. This is not your Cuba, communistic Cuba, to do shit like this. Allow them to manage something. Basically, he is allowing them to spy on somebody, tell about intellectual property, and he is okay to implement all the illegal bullshit. That's what his business is, based on spying illegal use. And whatever you tell to Japanese is 100% lie. All the stores, it's not for you to use, it's not for you to talk to Japanese. I'm telling you right now. It's not for Jesse to talk, not for you to talk. All the stores and that platform is for me to use, not for you, not for communists, not for Olga, not for any kind of all the fuckers you have. So, let me tell you my experience. Many might think in America I have big wow, but in reality it's not. There is no big wow. When I came in '91, first impression was some people are crazy. They have eyes like that. Maybe they do drugs or something. And everybody is busy and they don't care about certain things, which is good. They kind of like try to live by artificial way. But anyway, later, after like 6 months, I went to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I chose it because at that time I had no money. And I had a book, basically statistics, different statistics. And one of the best for jobs at that time was Minneapolis, Wisconsin, Colorado, basically mid of US. And in New York it was problem. So the cost of living less and more jobs. That's why I decided actually to go. Otherwise I would not even consider. But anyway, when I got to US, not US, when I got to Minnesota, my first car, I got my first car. My first car was Chevrolet Chevette. Chevrolet Chevette is like a very small car. I think it was even smaller than Honda Civic. So my first car was Chevrolet Chevette, and the quality is so bad. I had this problem or that problem, or starting to eat oil, or basically falling apart. Used car, it looks okay, but falling apart. And that was American car. At that time I thought, American car, but there is nothing good really, because because before that, overseas, for a small time, I drove. It is a car that originated in Italy, Italian Fiat. Basically, Italian Fiat sold patent or whatever to Eastern Europe. I believe somewhere like Russia, not far from Ukraine. It could be some other locations, but from what I know, it was Russian people that purchased patent and how to do that car. And in fact, the first models had Italian engine. So the body was made in Russia, not far from Ukraine, but the body, based on Italian those techniques or pattern, it was made there. It's like in America they make cars, Japanese cars, but made by Ford. It was like that. So basically, in Russia it was a car, I think they called Lada, or before Lada. But basically, first models, they had Italian engine, and then they started to make own engine based on Italian. That Italian car overseas is better than my Minnesota car, American, trust me. Because I drove, I know, it has better torque, it has better pickup, more smooth. It's like you buy Fiat. If you go right now buy Fiat, even used, and compared to some used American cars, you might find Italian cars is much better than that American car. So I drove the car over there for a short time, but it's Italian patent. or maybe even, I didn't look, but maybe even engine Italian. But anyway, stick shit. It was stick shit. So my experience in America, there is nothing great about America. They have a lot of propaganda. They are the best, but in reality, based on car, they are not the best. That Italian car to me was better. And like, suppose I like to drink brandy sometimes, cognac or French cognac or French brandy or Italian brandy. To me, they are better than American brandy. Anyway, the same with sparkling wine. To me, French sparkling wine in most cases better than American. But anyway, so what I want to say is, just because they said it was approved, like my e-commerce, my platforms, my Explorer, just because somebody said it was approved in America, you should not take it as high standard. You should think about like a car, like a cheap city car. That's how the approvals are. Cheap city approvals. No attorney, no ID, no telephone number, no address, nothing. Somebody allowed. And they approve for the whole planet. All that fraud. So all that green page, they're not talents. It's not the search engine, no, you know, search and pictures and all those videos and all that advertising for a small fee to be higher. It's not their brain. It's no cloud, nothing. It's not their brain. No the email and chat and groups. It does not belong to them. They were using illegal papers from my ex-wife. She wrote about my intellectual property and with that all kind of stupid signature. That's illegal use. They're not supposed, green page, they're not supposed to tell any PhD to implement and program that. They were in a position of stupid dummies repeating mine. It's not their stuff to repeat. And with that, they don't have attorney, they don't have ID, they don't have anything, and they rely on some politicians. You don't rely on politicians, it's not their intellectual property. If they say yes, okay, then I'm gonna sue them. It's not their stuff. They got from my ex-wife, it's my intellectual property. They cannot authorize, they cannot program, they cannot trade, they cannot approve for copyrights, anything. But Americans, the crooked White House, those stupid assholes, or some of them, they approved. They say Congress approved. Congress never even look at that. They say Congress approved or copyrights approved. How did you approve? If they're not talents and you cannot verify, you're just saying allowing, but you're not supposed to allow them to copyright. Allowing. Who is allowing? Okay, call them. You don't have phone number. Send letter. You don't have address. You don't have ID, no authority, nothing. It's made up. It's called corruption. Illegal use for the future own benefit. So they tell Jew or no Jew to implement with illegal papers, no talent, and then money, they want money, his money. That's what it is. It's a twisting, unjust enrichment, corruption. So that's America. That's how that stupid car looks like. It was driving like a piece of shit. That's how the real legal system is when it comes to money, and they have big dollar eyes in their eyes. They want to be rich and they don't want to follow anything legal just to suck more. That's the shitty car is their legal system when it comes to money. Yeah, they might protect their ass. It means they're illegal, using illegally. When you try to sue them, they will do everything to protect their ass, but they don't have rights for it. They are not talents. They were using illegal papers. Definitely, outside of the United States, they can be disqualified. Very easy. Just in one day. They can be disqualified in one single day. They don't have anything. Sorry, disapprove. You can throw all those papers to the trash. Or some of them even arrest those stupid lawyers. First of all, they brought paper somebody allowed. Then they lie, look like they came to the same. They have bunch of stupid tricks. In reality, they got from ex-wife, that's my intellectual property. In order to make anything legal, they had to look for me, make agreements with my attorney and everything, make right agreements. They could not be CEO for mine unless I do allow. Don't make paper allow unless I do allow. And I have real attorney, real notary, real everything. Any kind of made up crap there, they put up for them to use. And then they want money for that. That's corruption. German communistic corruption, or German corruption, Berlinish, or any other communist corruption. They're not supposed to trade, right? Why communists should trade on Wall Street? First of all, it's not the intellectual property. The second thing, it's a party. Parties should not trade. It does not belong to them. If they want to say it belongs to them, that would be fraud. It belongs to me, Minnesota, and Olga repeat. So what they did, they approve all that, but they are not the international court. So all that garbage should not really go outside of United States. You can disapprove in one day. Because you approve for a big market, normally it should be very extensive, verified. But they achieved it with tricks. Somebody is allowed. Who is allowed? That's a lie. It's the biggest lie. Somebody did allow to Brin and Page. I never did. The same with Yahoo, MSN, the same with Bean, email, chat, Netflix, Yahoo, YouTube, Zillow, eBay, Amazon, and many other things. You cannot use mine to develop. If you use mine to develop, I need money for this. It's not yours management. You take and you decide, look like I give you for free. For free this. Look this. Look harder. This for free for you. Look harder, fuckers. I'm not gonna give you anything for free. There is nothing for free. House fucking trying to resell, trying to bump, trying to fucking flip. You wanna flip the house? I'm gonna flip the price fucking from 10 billion. I will flip to 50 fucking. You pay. I'm not gonna pay for this, you fucking ass. Smart ass fuckers. Wanna use for free and sell it their stuff. You wanna sell as mine? I'll take you ass to court. You're not supposed to copyright mine because it's creating big problem. Because you are acting look like you are talent, but you are not. So when I wanna sell rights, or I wanna copyright mine, suppose with Europeans, I cannot because you copyrighted mine. And who is gonna pay? Who is gonna pay for investigation? I'm not gonna pay. I'm gonna sue you ass through federal courts, international criminal courts. Then they know it's not you could not copyright. Then it goes back to normal. I could copyright because it's mine, but you couldn't because you have nothing to show legal. Olga cannot allow anything for me. I'm telling you right now. And any papers she's making, there is no idea, attorney. No physical presence, no address, no telephone number, nothing. Somebody is allowing. It's all made up crap. If there is address or something, that's a fake address. She put something, but there is nobody there. Basically a lie. She put some lie, or if there is phone number, it's not working because I'm not there. She could put some kind of lies, but I'm not there. So, like I said, you can remove all those stupid companies. Because what they do is they come, first of all they attain something illegally, and then they come and ask for money. And then they use money for themselves to get rich. Because they don't have money, so they use someone's intellectual property and you put the money, so they're making the money. They're trying to find capital. And then most likely, if somebody will die, they will make it very hard to get the shares. because somebody died. Because that's a group of suckers, evil-headed suckers. They don't want to pay for this, they don't want to pay for that. So expect if somebody died and the relative want to get shares, they will not give shares. They want to keep it, want to steal it. That's how I see for myself. That's an evil, criminalistic group who is doing that. Started from Olga and going further. That's criminalistic, evil people. I'm serious. So you better ask. If not, just give. You ask. They don't have proofs. Disqualify. Oh, they should not offer any shares. Shares to offer, you need to be talent for this, or you need to get rights or something. They wanna be like biotech who are stealing formulas. But in case of biotech stealing formulas, they will get arrested. So they wanna be kind of like biotech, but no name biotech, but the same thing. They should be arrested then. So you can remove them, you can disqualify. Don't worry about them. They're cheap shit. Cheap garbage. Like that car I had. The used Italian car, way better than that old Chevy piece of shit. So I actually dumped it. I gave for free, and I don't feel bad. And I paid actually for much newer car, but more money. And I got Honda that I was using for like probably 15 years. And when I sold it, it was running good, no problems. But American, and I think it goes deeply to their brain. That's how they do when it comes to money. They start to tweak and to be really fucking sick. That's what happened to that exploring. It's not Jewish exploring. That Breen Page, that JC, the Armenian Jew. It's not Jewish exploring. I never did allow them anything. That's a most likely communist who got about my intellectual property from my ex-wife, and all those communists and some not communists with Jews, they all use illegally and walking in my shoes and trying to say somebody did allow them. I never did allow them. I never even saw them. It is ex-wife's game with your politician or politicians to use my intellectual property, use fake signatures. This somebody did allow. Basically, they want to use and don't pay, and so they made up all kind of papers. That's who they are. That's all companies. All these companies are crooks, assholes. You can throw them away. That's all I can say. Bye.